Hello everyone and welcome to the Mikey Scott Studio YouTube channel. My name is Mikey and I am here in my basement studio with the incredibly talented Jacqueline Siri.
Hello.
Yay! And
Thank you for having me.
We are here today because we've recently finished your album, so we're going to have a little bit of a talk about your backstory and about the album.
Yeah.
So please tell me, what inspired your love for music?
I'd have to say my dad. So my dad's a musician, and we had a family band when we were kids called The Mixtures, and we would do performances at our elementary school talent shows and stuff. So that was like the beginning of my music journey. So my dad was a huge inspiration. He took me to my first concert, which was Kiss back in 97 or 98. The Psycho Circus tour.
That's a good first.
Yeah. It was epic.
Did you dress up? Did you?
I did.
You did? Fantastic.
I did.
That's great news.
Yeah, I was Jean.
Well, that's amazing. What a wonderful introduction to the music world.
Yeah.
So no wonder you love it. As a songwriter, how did you start creating music?
It wasn't until later. I had written a couple songs here and there, like as a teen and stuff, but never full songs, just like a verse and a chorus, and then I would get bored and move on to something else. But in college, we had to learn how to use GarageBand, and one of our assignments was create your own piece in GarageBand. And mine was terrible. It was so bad. I have a hard drive of like all my old MacBook stuff saved on that. So I was able to access all my old like GarageBand recordings, and woof, they were not good. But then, I had written like a couple songs here and there just for fun. I wrote a retirement song for my dad.
Wonderful.
Which was just really cute and just more funny. Like a lot of inside jokes in that one. I wrote a song for my husband for our wedding day. So just like little songs here and there. And then, it wasn't until this album that I started really writing like seriously with like an actual like goal in mind. Yeah, so this was kind of my first attempt of taking writing seriously.
So could you please tell me about your writing process? How do you go about getting an idea into a track? What do you start off with? Is it the lyrics? Is it the music?
So I find lyrics, because I'm a singer first, I find having lyrics gives me something to start off with and kind of then bounce off of. So if I have lyrics written first, then I can start kind of coming up with a rhythm of like the phrasing of it, and then melody starts to come, and then chords will start to come like either simultaneously with the melody or like afterwards, but not always. So one thing I've learned is like one like way of doing things doesn't fit all songs. So like for Home, I had the idea of what the song was going to be, but the guitar picking pattern came first, and then I had that in my head, and then I started kind of writing lyrics, and then I would kind of go back and forth. Yeah.
And Home, of course, is one of the songs on your brand new album called Stronger Than You Know, released September the 10th this month.
Yeah, so Stronger Than You Know is a concept album all about mental health awareness. I myself went through a really tough time for a few years with my mental health. To the point where I was hospitalized for it. And that was kind of maybe a changing point in my mental health, I think. Like, it was my first time being hospitalized, and I hope my last time being hospitalized. Once I got home from the hospital, I had started writing just for my own therapeutic purposes. And Monster was actually the very first song I wrote off the album. But at that time, the album wasn't even in my head yet. It was just to kind of write what I was feeling with what depression is. And it was actually originally written on piano, really slow. And then over time it sort of evolved into more of like the rock song that it is now.
It's a banger.
It is a banger. I'm really
banger.
proud of it. Yeah. It's one of my favorite songs. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, so Stronger Than You Know, the name was originally given to me by my best friend Allison during a phone call. I was having a really tough day, and she was just comforting me and, you know, reassuring me. And one of the things she said to me was, "You're stronger than you know." And she sort of said it in passing, along with many other things, but for some reason that one
It really stuck. Yeah.
stuck. So the first thing was I got it tattooed, and that was actually my very first tattoo.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, I had started writing the song Stronger Than You Know, and I think as I was writing that song, the idea of an album started kind of coming into mind, but it wasn't solidified yet.
So you were writing the album, you got the songs, you got the lyrics, you got everything, then you wanted to record it.
Yes.
Yes, tell me about your recording process.
Okay, so the very, very first part of my recording process was just recording it myself in my basement in GarageBand, just so I could hear what things would sound like on a basic level before I could bring it in to record it properly. And then I would use those as like ghost tracks for when I re-recorded it. So I did re-record the whole album, but there were some issues in some of the sound and in my own performance as well that I found. So I ended up re-recording everything with you. So I recorded like my vocals in my closet. And
Very
then,
well treated.
Thank you. Yeah, it turned out
very
okay.
appropriate for recording your closet, yeah.
Yeah, it worked out good. But yeah, I had started writing the album back in 2021, and I had it written and like recorded in GarageBand for like a year before I even approached it with anybody else. So it's now been like 3 years of working on the album, and there was a huge hiatus where nothing was really happening with it. So that's when I called you. And I was like, Mikey, help. My album is like, I've been working on it forever, it feels like, and I just need it to get done. And yeah, you came in and saved the day. We re-recorded the drums here. Yeah, and I knew that you would get it done in a really good, timely manner. But not only that, it wasn't rushed. It wasn't like the quality of what you didn't suffer because of your speed. So that was one thing that was like awesome that I knew coming to you would be like, but I also knew that I would be able to rely on you with getting in touch with you. We would have like open communication all the time. We could text back and forth. I knew I could call you, and I knew that I'd be able to get a hold of you. So you're like just extremely reliable and very professional and just a cool dude. He's just such a cool dude to hang out with. But yeah, we had a lot of fun.
So cool. I'm so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
And
I'm
like
really glad.
what you did with the like mixing and mastering side of it finally makes the album sound like how I heard it in my head for like 3 years. So I'm...
And that's what's important to me. That means the world. That the end product is what you envisioned at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
So I'm so grateful that I know you and that you had time to do this, and yeah.
Well, thank you. That means so much.
Yeah. Thank you for... Yeah.
So I really want people to listen to Stronger Than You Know by Jacqueline Siri. It's a fantastic album. The links are all in the descriptions and things. And I'd like to give some more resources to those who may be struggling with mental health as well.
Yeah, you can go on CAMH, which is the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. And you can also check out the Canadian Mental Health Association, both great websites and organizations for supporting people with mental illness and addiction. There's also a phone number. There's a new emergency phone number for mental health emergencies. So instead of 911 being like a medical emergency, 988 is for mental health emergencies, which is now across Canada and the US.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you not only coming to me to mix and record and master your album. It's been so much fun. It's been an honour to work with you. You're a fantastic singer, fantastic songwriter. When are you next playing?
So Rob and I, my husband and I, have a duo. We're called the Siri Duo. And this is more just for like cover stuff, but we are playing October 12th at McFinn's Traditional Irish Pub in Barrie.
Oh, lovely.
So, yeah, we'll be there.
And Stronger Than You Know is available on all online music streaming platforms. So please add it to your playlists and get listening. It's a fantastic album. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for coming in.
Thanks, Mikey, for having me.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.